Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O ancestors, O creative force, O divine mother and father, divine masculine and feminine, the one, the all within all. Greetings, welcome to another episode of King Simon Presents Only Quality People. I am your Numerovational Magi, as you see on my shirt. Please like, subscribe, share, and click the bell to be notified so we can build this algorithm and let people know that we are sharing positive information, positive people, and bringing forth some positive realities and some great people that will be on this channel. It is now 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And wherever you may be, blessed love, blessed heart, love and respect to you. Everybody that's on Facebook, everybody that's on Instagram, everybody that's here on YouTube, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on. Tonight we have a special guest, first time on my channel. I had her sister on, and her sister did a wonderful job. So I can only imagine what this sister is going to do when she comes on my channel. I'm honored because this is her first debut on my channel. And of course, like I said, this channel strives and thrives to promote only quality people. And remember, we also strive and thrive to be the solution and not a part of the problem. And like the great Bob Marley said, and y'all have heard me, y'all seen me posted this. Bob Marley was one of my teachers, so to speak, from a musical perspective since I was young. And Bob Marley said this: the people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking the day off. Why should I? Why should any of us that consider ourselves righteous in any way, not perfect, but at least righteous? We have a perfect soul, we have perfect energy within us, but the body goes through its ups and downs, and we do crazy stuff sometimes. We just got to be focused. Even the most so-called righteous amongst us do crazy things. So without any further ado, before I got this beautiful bio that this sister sent over to me, and I think I'm going to read all of it. And although it's long, I'm going to read it because I think I like what is said. It says, the Herb Alchemyst is a visionary healer, certified plant scientist through the South African Herb Academy, and one of the nation's foremost herbalists. She is also an ordained minister of metaphysics, law of attraction love coach, medium, wife, and mother. Rooted in her ancestral lineage, she carries the healing legacy of her grandmother, a respected herbalist from Grenada, blending traditional wisdom with modern herbal medicine for holistic health. As a medium, she serves as a bridge between worlds, offering intuitive guidance, healing, and spiritual clarity. She is the founder of Amas Healing Academy, where she teaches the healing arts, and Oshun Retreats, which provides sanctuaries for spiritual renewal, and an initiate of the Asise or Asese traditions of West Africa. She weaves African spiritual practices with herbal mastery and metaphysical coaching. Through her deep reverence for ancestral knowledge and her innovative approach to healing, the Herb Alchemist empowers others to achieve balance, health, and spiritual connection while paving the way for future generation of healers. Without further ado, let's welcome on my stage for the first time on King Simon Presents Only Quality People. Let's welcome the one, the only, the Herb Alchemist, right here on King Simon's platform. How you doing, my sister? Peace and love.
Peace. Give thanks.
Give thanks. How you feeling?
I feel excellent. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on and
Thank you for reading. You read the whole bio. I was
I'm an MC of many things. So I've been on radio doing, and I love the bio. And I was going to read just part of it, but I said no. Well, let me read this and show her some respect. RESPECT.
Good things, gratitude, and respect to you. You've been holding it down for a while, and I'm honored to be sharing this space with you right now. So thank you.
Well, thank you, my sister, for being here. And let me make sure that your information, I have your links, of course. So, and it's pinned to the top of the chat. Family, her links are pinned to the top of the chat. Her websites, of course, for Herbal Medicine and for Wellness Academy, and her Cash App is also right there, pinned to the top of the link. She is our guest, certified plant scientist and herbalist and minister of metaphysics, which I also got my ministry, ordained ministry too. So I'm honored, my sister. First and foremost, how's the family?
The family is well. The family is blessed. I've been homeschooling, so that's been,
Of course. And how many beautiful children do you have?
I actually have 5. I'm a mother of 5.
You got 5? You don't even look like you. Get out of here. Hold on, let me give that a well-deserved round of applause. Oh, no, let me get that a round of applause. Lord have mercy. Whoa.
Good things. So both of my grandmothers have 14 each. So in today's age is something to look at. But when I think about them, I'm like, I'm not even doing half of what they did.
Man, let me tell you, my auntie from Cuba, Jamaica, she had 12 children from her one husband. 12 children. And she said, I quote her straight up before she passed on. She said, I said, Auntie, how is it that you have 12 children? She said, after the 6th one, it just kept on coming.
Oh my God. So you come from a Caribbean background also. See, my father, every time I have a child, my father says, baby, the Lord ain't done blessing you yet. He has 9. So I'm like, oh my God.
I have 9 children. I have 9. Yeah.
You have 9?
Yeah, 9 and 15 and 15 grandchildren. 15 grandchildren.
What? Oh my God.
And all of my children haven't had children yet, mind you. So 4 of them still don't have children, but yes, 9 children.
Wow! Congratulations, y'all are in there. The stick is in the ground. You understand? Legacy. Congratulations.
Well, hey man, as long as they good, man. That's why I'm writing books and all that to even leave a knowledgeable legacy. Because one thing about the metaphysics, they'll never go out of style. A lot of
people
never. Greyhorn told me that years ago. Will never go out of style. And I've just been on my numbers and numerology and numerovation, creating my own system, having a good time. But I'm very intrigued about the many things that you do, because I am going to show your websites and all that kind of stuff during the duration of this particular broadcast. But I'm proud of the journey that you and your beloved husband and king that traveled and doing what you're doing, and the children, because it is a family thing, without a doubt. Because like Dr. Valentine taught us years ago, he says, we don't teach the children. Children come through to teach us. Teach us how to handle them. How to handle them and how to raise
all
them. All of that. But it's a symbiotic thing. It is a symbiotic. I look at it from both, because we both, they're learning from us as we're learning from them. So
yes,
man, it's as much as the title is Sexual Health and Alchemy, the Alchemy of Sexual Health. Mm-hmm. What is some of the greater benefits that you have found throughout your travels when it came to relationships, the pure relationships, especially when it comes to man and woman? From then, where we come from, family and Caribbean families, and some American families have a lot of children also of Upper America, because Caribbean is part of the Americas too. People don't know that by geographics. But a lot of people don't realize that it took a lot for women and men to want to take care of big families. So for you to do what you did and learning about your family that did it, what were some of the different nuances that you recognize from your elders to what's happening now?
Well, I think for one, it's interesting that ancestors want me to come from this angle. I think for one, the food was very different.
Yes.
And so I think that the woman was able to be more intact, easier after birthing, because it was normal for us to have 10, or more children. But when you compare a banana from yesterday and today, or any of the fruits and vegetables from yesterday and today, we are getting a quarter of the nutrients that we once had. With commercial farming. So I think that above anything, and then oftentimes growing our own food.
Yes.
That in and of itself, eating right from the land, and then the children joining in on that process. So we have food. If we have land and we have seeds, we have food.
That's right.
So I really think that's a big part of it, and really, I just want to stay right there. the repair.
Did you ever get to question your elders, like your grandparents or your great grandma or your grandmother that you spoke of from Grenada? Big up to Spice Island, Grenada. Big up to the Grenada massive. I know. I used to work with Sparrow, Mighty Sparrow, who is from Grenada. So
wow,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
I've spoken to my grandmother. We didn't have conversations about her 12 sons and 2 daughters.
12 sons and 2 daughters? What?
12. I'm like, I have 3, and I'm like, oh my God, I have 3 sons, but she had 12 boys.
Wow. I got 6.
9 more than me. I'm like, okay, let me never complain in life.
No, I got 6 sons and 3 daughters, so I see what's happening.
Yeah,
and because I know sometimes the elders in the conversation, more than likely she's still with us or she passed on. She's still with us.
Oh no, she passed on.
So you're getting it from the ancestral realm now. So that's what you
absolutely. And I did have conversations with her, and of course plans to visit her. Even though she's Grenadian, she moved to Trinidad in her early years. My father, he's recognized as a Trinidadian, Grenadian mother, Barbadian father, but he's born and raised in Trinidad. So you can just an island mix up.
A whole lot of cook up.
Yeah, I just wave all the flags.
Yeah, especially when you're on the Parkway in Brooklyn. You got to it. Give me all of them. But what I find very interesting did they recognize sexual alchemy and sexual health back in those days?
That's a good question. See, I think one thing about our people, and when I say that, even just the Caribbean people and Caribbean culture, we had health, we had like what we call natural healing, like weaved into the culture itself. Like, everybody's eating sea moss. Like my dad would go and pick seaweed himself out the ocean. And just like everybody's doing washouts. Everybody's grandmother is an herbalist. It's like it's kind of like just a part of, and we really carried that forward from, the motherland. So
right. No, I understand that, because also people here in America from the Geechee Gullahs and all the people here, they had their herbalists and all that. That's what I'm studying and realize. And because Dr. Africa himself is from the south, his family's from South Carolina, from the Geechee Gullah. That's why he always used to conduct trips to the Geechee Gullah. And those people from the Geechee sounded like they were from Barbados. When I looked at when I watched the documentary on the Geechees and all that, big up to the Geechee Gullah family and all the people, the Maroons of America and the Maroons of Caribbeans, because I think for them to be able to survive birthing so many children, sexual health had to be innately in them. You understand? I mean,
it's like how we got here. So it's the single most, yeah, like we didn't even have to talk about it. Just like back in the day, we didn't have to exercise because, cutting trees and picking fruit, like it was just a part of our daily life. So we didn't have to, I got to go and lift weight. No, it's a lifting throughout, just the process of your liberty of your life. So
right.
It was definitely weaved in, just that understanding. I think we kept it more sacred, though. It wasn't as much needed to be discussed.
Yes.
And I think that's probably what made it even more just beautiful. Personally, I got into the field of sexual health, to be honest with you, when I was a teenager. And that's really because everybody was just so into sex. And I'm like, well, what is this sex thing? Like, like everybody just wants to do it and this and that, but like what is actually going on? And I was a nerd. Straight up, I've always been a nerd, ain't ashamed. So I would just research, and then I would be talking to the brothers.
Right.
At my school and just teaching them about their prostate and different things. And they would be coming to me like, I just have a bunch of, brothers that would just be like, dang, like, yeah, we want to talk about sex. Let's really talk about it. Like, what's happening? Like,
no, that's powerful because I was introduced through a book that my aunt had in our house in New York, in Brooklyn. She was from the Caribbean also, on Kama Sutra. And I remember questioning about Kama Sutra, seeing the book. And of course, then my uncle, it's funny, the aunt had the Kama Sutra book. My uncle had Playboy book. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He having those books, and you'll see those in the bathroom. And like, what the hell? And totally different. The two different spectrums of sexuality. Yeah. And I think that was those were my introduction, looking through her book, which was more scientific and more holistic. And I didn't understand anything because I was, like I said, 11, 12 years old, just going because I was always an inquisitive child. Right. But looking at, sneaking to go into my bathroom, my uncle's bathroom, let's go sneaking with the everything in your face is oh, Jesus Christ.
Right, yeah.
White women, like what the hell? And I think when sexual health was needed more was during the sexual revolution, especially when, the whole blaxploitation and all that was coming out. Pam Grier was looking good. I mean, I used to love Pam Grier. Every time she got on the screen, I was a little child like this. What's going, girl? What you doing? But so
shout out to the original Foxy Brown.
Original Foxy Brown, that's right. And Tamara Dobson and the rest of them. And but so when you got into it from that young age and doing all this type of training and teaching, even as a hood nurse or a hood nurse to your brothers, where were you living then? Where were you living?
Well, when I was I grew up in Palmdale, California. It's an hour north of LA, like kind of more deep, higher into the mountains. Yeah. But you said hood nurse, and that made me laugh because my actual start as an herbalist, I started in the hood off of La Brea and Centinela. In Inglewood, I lived in Hyde Park, which was Nipsey's hood, and like literally opened up my little herb station inside of a weed shop before they was, in a dispensary before they were dispensary. Right. Yeah, so I had all sorts of different customers that would come, and they were my first customers, so I just think it's funny when you said that.
It just came to my mind because I remember a friend of mine that they used to call her a hood nurse because she was digging into Dr. Africa's books and helping them out with all types of stuff. And big up to Kiki, wherever she might be watching. She might watch this later if she's not at work. But it's so funny. She's in the Bronx and everybody's asking her which herb can do this and what can do that. What can give me, move my bowels, all kind of craziness was going on.
I mean, every community has their healer.
Yes.
Even the hood got to have some healers. In fact, I've met some of the greatest healers that I know to this day in the hood, in Inglewood. Those are my, early days of just, like Dr. Be Serious. Shout out to Dr. Be Serious. Tahuti Ma'at Ra. Oh, he wasn't. I would always tell Tahuti. I was Tahuti Ma'at Ra, like one of his students, but more of metaphysics and astrology. Right. He's the original owner of D Herbs. Yes. And I would always tell him, I'm like, no, Tahuti, because he had the store in Glendale, and I would always tell him, no, we need you in the hood, Tahuti, we need you in the hood. So like in my early days of when I was selling my elixirs, I used to sell my elixirs in Leimert Park. Mm-hmm. And I would also have all of Tahuti's herbs. He had an additional company that he created, Trinity Herbs. Right. So I would bring his herbal medicine to the hood, and also have my own elixirs and hood nurse. I shaded a hood nurse. My grandmother was a nurse. We talked about my father's lineage, but my mother is from New Orleans.
Oh, get out of here.
Okay. So, there's a connection between New Orleans people and Trinidadians. You say the connection between the other islanders and South Carolina. And so so my grandmother, who also had 14 children, my mother is one of two of the twins.
Wow.
And are my grandmother's youngest children. Wow. And she was a nurse. That's what she did for a profession. Like my grandma got stories. Like if somebody cracked their head, grandma would just sew their head up right there. Like
Right. That's funny. My grandmother was a nurse and my aunt. So midwives too, and midwives. It was
hey, shout out to the mothers.
Yes, grandmothers was doing their thing. And you know, it's funny, Queen of Four was a hood nurse too. So people don't even know.
Yes, yes.
And John E. Moore was a hood hobo. He called him the herbal hobo, going out throughout and bringing you into Harlem and showing you the plants that you could eat and
yes, wow.
Sister Tyoma takes you into Prospect Park and Forage, and Sister Yendez, all of them like hood nurses or hood healers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Paul Goss. Say again, Paul Goss. Yeah, Paul Goss. Yeah, Paul Goss. He's Aquarius like myself. He's February 11th.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Shout out to the Aquarians. Y'all got my North Node conjuncts your sun. So whenever I see Aquarius, I'm like, okay, what's up? What you got for me? What's up?
Yeah, and your sister's Aquarius too, right? Your sister's Aquarius.
You see where I'm going with it.
You know, so when we deal with alchemy, a lot of people don't realize some of the, and I want you to stress, what are some of the emotional healing that can help when you're practicing sexual alchemy? What are some of that we can delve into?
Well, you know, first and foremost, I would say just really digesting traumas. A lot of people like to just run from their traumas and not really dive into them and understand and source out the meat from your trauma, like that core lesson that I was really teaching you. Right. And especially for women, see, it'll sit in our womb, but for men, it'll sit in their hearts.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so for women, just really processing, you know, I always say you can't erase trauma, but you can digest it. And so, because when it comes to women, a lot of women are having trouble with even orgasming.
Yes.
You know, even going to that place. And, you know, some of them may orgasm, but it's not a multi-orgasmic. Right. Or then others may, you know, be multi-orgasmic, but then do you really come up out of your body? Are you having a full ejaculation experience? You know what I'm saying? So where you're really letting go. You know, when it comes to a woman, her goal, really the right partner will allow her to meet the goddess within herself. You want to get a woman so relaxed and so at peace where she is free in releasing her inner goddess. So it never becomes about, you know, positions or this or that. It becomes a dance between that divine spirit that's unlocked from trusting, that's unlocked from, you know, from just tapping into her dark matter energy and the divine great mother. Right. You know, like you may meet the physical frame of a woman and the physiological properties and attributes, you know, her ability to get wet, these different things. But when you have a woman that has digested her trauma, she can then release the goddess, and then the journey becomes a cosmic experience opposed to a base level flesh to flesh, you know, experience. Right. And then with the brothers, you know, releasing the heart, you know, I know we're going to get into the ED conversation, erectile dysfunction, but just as far as on the alchemy, like, yes, brothers need to release their heart. Brothers hold a lot of hurt, you know, from women, especially these brothers who are so-called players or this or that, or they have hurt a lot of women. Right. So even that act is cutting off that fourth chakra connection on an energetic, which then is going to clog up the actual, you know, heart and the, you know, the cardiovascular system. Right. You know, overall. So what happens in the immaterial manifests in material. Then we got the sisters, like I was discussing earlier, with their trauma, with their wounds. We got the fibroids. So now sex is painful. Right. Because sometimes, you know, she may have been molested as a child, or these different things and never actually dealt with that, never actually was heard, never actually was able to, trust, that the male energy. So, it's very deep. We have a big situation on our hands, because at the end of the day, it's about also maintaining. Yes, I feel that lovemaking is our medicine. It's our greatest medicine on this planet. And it's also the way that the ancestors, continue to come here. But we've just entered on such a destructive cycle, well, anyways, I don't want to go too far.
Hey, look, I'm letting you speak because I like the flow, and why? Because I know personally, my traumas come from abandonment. And like I said to a friend of mine, one time I said, and I said to a few friends of mine, which happened to be women, I said, being a child and your parents working at night was rough to me, being the first child, the only boy for the first 2 years till my sister came. And even my mother admitted that I got the blunt of it, because they had to work at night as a paramedic. She was working at the chocolate factory or whatever they was doing. And boom, they had babysitters, but babysitters wouldn't stay in the room with us. They'll stay in the room with me. They'll go into their own room where they are. And sometimes when you wake up and you don't see nobody, it's like, what the hell? You get frightened. And a lot of people don't know children get frightened from those type of things that happen in their early part of life. So yeah, you're leaving on the nightlight. Good. At one time, to a certain amount of age, I couldn't sleep without a nightlight. Then I said, you know what? The nightlight was like that beacon of guidance to the door to find your babies.
Yeah.
And if you don't find them, they might be gone and left you there too. That's where abandonment came from me. So even in relationships, I would, and then my father opened up a nightclub the year I was born. So also that was going on, and watching that happening. And I told to my father the other day, Herb Alkhemyst, and said, I remember an argument that my mother got into while I was a child. And not with him, with his brother, my uncle rest in peace. And I remember what he said, every verbatim, as a child. And the threat that he made to my mother was something that, if you do it today, you'd probably get arrested, just because of his selling his marijuana back in the day. My mother wasn't into marijuana like that. She flushed it down the toilet, and he came up angry. And look now, this is what my uncle looked like. Imagine Michael Jai White, dark skin.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's, his body was just like that. And the face, the whole thing was just like very dark. And so when he came up and while she had it, I pretended not to sleep, but I'm hearing everything that he's thinking about doing to my mother. And he eventually left because he had the children was there in the house. So those abandonment issues, those little hurts from family, those type of things. How does the sexual health and the practicing of these different nuances of sexual health help with spiritual growth, but also enhancing relationships, so to speak? Especially with your mom, or realizing what happened with your mom and your dad or whatever in your family after those personal traumas.
Right. You're just talking about well, the angle I was going to come at it from is when a man and a woman come together, there is no space where you can get closer to spirit than that. And that is because we literally bring spirit into form when we are engaging in that activity. So that is the direct implication that this is a spiritual experience happening.
Right.
We can cut it off. We can put barriers in between to restrict the semen, from coming through. But at the end of the day, what we understand about it is that it is an act of procreation. So that you can't get more. We're giving spirit form when we do this. How more spiritual can you get than that? And then, like I was saying, when it comes to a woman, and where we're able to go, um, when you're able to allow that surrender to take place as a woman, you step aside, you step outside of your insecurities or these different things, and you allow yourself to be embodied by, the supreme being. Like, that's why I tell sisters there's levels to this. Like, we want to get wetter. It's so much higher than that when you really are able to tap into, for one, yourself outside of a man. Like, who are you before you begin to share yourself with another? Right. Who are you with life itself, with prana itself, with your ori, with your destiny, with your path? And, are you wearing that crown fully? Because when you are, that connection with the creator alone, and that metaphysical experience that the world becomes, then it gets carried over into the bedroom.
And that I shared that story earlier because those type of arguments with men, or men arguing with women, can also stagnate sexual health. Yeah. Stagnate sexual healing, like Marvin Gaye used to sing about. Stagnate sexual healing to the point that women could have gone through certain, men can go through duress just like women can go through duress, but majority of the time women are going through duress when it comes to this because of either argument or abuse or whatever, and that can be a problem with enhancing or helping us to spiritually grow sexually, to the point that that little argument, and I'm saying that argument with my mother, or that yelling and screaming that my uncle did to my, kind of stagnate the relationship with my father. Because my father really didn't do anything, because his uncle was something else, and I know my father was something else. But both of them are trained military men, and he wanted to maintain a certain peace, but he didn't. One thing I tell people about when it comes to relationships, when we're in a relationship with a man or a woman, Dr. Africa taught us that it's the whole family also in part of this relationship. So if you're having problems with that man or that auntie or that uncle in that family from my mother's point of view, or somebody else's mother or somebody's father's point of view, that could also cause friction in sexual relationship, intimate relationship, conversing relationship, or conversational relationship. All of that can cause friction because there wasn't no defense mechanism. Everybody didn't pounce on my uncle or pounce on that relative and say, right, "You've done that. You should never have done that. You should never have threatened that person like that." Nobody.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, but that's where when I mentioned a woman has to trust, she also has to trust you to protect her.
Right. Exactly.
Those are the type of times where mama will come and give him some, like, the way you stood up for me at X, Y, and Z. Because now she feels safe.
Right.
Woman has to feel safe with, and it's important to voice that, to have those hard conversations, because we're gonna, have our thing where we ain't perfect now, right, but how do we take care of it afterwards so that we're not having those blockages when it comes to being able to connect with one another, right. So the communication afterwards is, also very important, because that can help with the cleanup, so that she's not holding on to that and keeping that. And now she's experiencing vaginal dryness, and oh, now it hurts. She's now she's not enjoying it anymore because you're using the key, you're trying to unlock the door, but the door's not unlocking. So you're just like kind of staying on the outside. You're just experiencing the literal base level physiological, not even in full, but just that body to body, connection at a very weak level because it's dry.
Right. Well, family, if y'all just tuning in, if y'all just coming in, more people coming in on Facebook, Instagram, all of y'all coming in. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. We have the Herb Alkhemyst in the building. Our guest, our healer, certified plant scientist, herbologist, Ministry of Metaphysics. I read a whole bio in the back, so I'm not gonna read it again. But y'all can get the gist of it. Go to our websites. Now, the name of your website is Amash's.
Amas HS. I have two websites.
Yeah, I got two of them up there.
This is my herbal medicine website. That's amashs.com, AMASHS.com. And my Healing Academy, where I teach, I have courses in herbalism and health alchemy, and my consultations is Amas HA Academy. So AMMASHA.
Right. And the one I'm sharing here is the
that's the herbal medicine.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Find the elixirs and everything.
Just want to make sure people see that, and make sure people get to view that in its glory. In its glory. I love it. I love what you're doing. Love what you're doing. And family, make sure you go to the website. We ain't finished yet because there's more we got to talk to, but make sure you support her by a Cash App. I usually tell people to have like international links because people in England and all those people cannot use Cash App. They only use like PayPal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Very, very important. Even the Caribbeans don't use Cash App, so we gotta step it up when it comes to that, and then do what we gotta do. Unless they buy your products or support your products and online, But again, those type of things can cause women's libido to go down. And I remember, men, even if men go through rape, even if a woman try to rape you, that's crazy because you putting a man under duress. He ain't gonna do that. He won't get up just thinking about having sex, going through that. You think about those things. So in your journey of sexual health and healing, you've noticed that there've been erectile dysfunction, both in men and also libido dysfunction with women. How do you handle that, and what do you try to enforcing the women and the men to help? And you can start with whatever gender you want to start with to help them heal from that. Let's go there, please.
Okay, awesome. Well, erectile dysfunction overall is a vascular issue, oftentimes with men and women. Men and women both have erectile tissue.
Right.
Women have erectile tissue concentrated at the clitoris, which is responsible for the libido. It's the button, it's the activator, it's the exciter. It has the most nerves. Nerves allow a person to feel. So wherever you have a concentration of nerves, that's a pleasure party. That's a feeling party. And so, for both men and women, when the blood isn't able to fully reach these regions, then they're not able to fully be expressed. Blood circulation is extremely it's everything. The number one killer amongst not just our people, but all people is heart disease. And so the way the heart and the blood vessels, the way the cardiovascular system is going to work first and foremost is it's going to focus. Like if it's starting to see some backup, some sludge in the system, it's going to focus on what's going to keep you alive first and foremost. It's going to make sure that the brain got enough, the liver got enough, the kidneys. It's going to give the blood to these regions, these innards first, and those that are most important. It's not important if the body is almost like shutting down because the blood's not moving well enough. It's not important to pay the sexual reproductive organs. We got some time. Y'all could get, fed later. I always look at the blood. We talk about, blood bank, et cetera, et cetera. Right. The blood is literally like the money.
Right.
It's the wealth of the body. And so depending on how much wealth you receive from your foods will depend on how much your body is able to distribute the currency. The currency is that blood, right? And that blood has, microscopic precious minerals, and it's coming with the gold and the this and that to the different organs. But it's like, I can't pay you. Right. I can't send the blood down to the penis right now. I can't send the blood down to the vagina. You guys the blood vessels are too clogged. The water flows, the currents are too clogged. And we've gotten here by way of, for one, being so dehydrated. We are dehydrated people. We are a dehydrated species. We like to eat dry foods. We eat rice and beans and pastas and just all the grains, the chips and the and it's like, how much water are you putting into your body also, so that the blood doesn't become mucus filled and sludge is what I like to call it. So that's first and foremost, that we have to hydrate. And also, so when it comes to, I want to get a little more concentrated, like when it comes to male erectile dysfunction, the thing about not dealing with the spirit, not doing all that, but on a physiological level of what's happening to the penis oftentimes is that, so when it comes to your arteries, right? Your arteries bring blood to things.
Yeah.
Okay. You got your heart and you got your arteries, you got your veins. Your arteries bring blood to things, and your veins take that blood that was already like stripped of everything, and it sends the blood back up to the heart. So the veins, the vessels bring blood, and the veins send it back up. And so men have a dorsal artery. That's the vein, that's that thick artery, that thick vein vessel that is bringing the blood to the penis. And so when you have a dirty, cardiovascular system, and the blood isn't flowing well enough to reach that dorsal artery, it makes it hard for the penis to lift and rise to its full potential, because it's just not, somewhere along the way, the dorsal artery is not receiving the blood like it needs to.
Right.
And then you have another issue when it comes to erectile dysfunction, where the dorsal artery is fine, you're receiving the blood, but you have a deep dorsal vein that is not trapping the blood to keep the blood in the penis. So where one is like, I can't even get an erection, that's a dorsal artery cloggage. Another is, I'm getting an erection, but it's leaving like that. That's a deep dorsal vein issue. Okay, and so they happen in different ways. The dorsal artery clogging, which is an atherosclerotic issue, right? A clogging of the artery issue, often manifests through poor eating, and also a sedentary lifestyle, sitting down too much, not moving enough, not exercising, not bringing blood to that lower area. When you exercise, you're bringing blood. Right. Blood down, and so that's that when it comes to the dorsal artery. But when it comes to the deep dorsal vein, a lot of times this vein gets damaged. Whether it's masturbating too much. When you think about the anatomy of the penis, you understand the penis was designed for the vagina.
That's right.
Not designed for your big old manly hard hand.
Exactly.
That's and right. So you just over there, going ham, then you are
going ham.
Using that vein. You're damaging that vein.
Exactly.
And so then you wonder why it's like, oh, like I can't keep it up.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's layers to this conversation. I also feel that men overall are experiencing a curse on a deeper level.
What? Say that again. What?
A curse.
Why do you say that? Why do you say curse?
So 50% of men are experiencing erectile dysfunction, as y'all get into your older ages. That's half of y'all.
Man, that's breaking news right there. That's breaking news right there. Breaking news. That's breaking news right there. Please explain, Herb Alkhemyst.
Yeah, and so this whole patriarchal experience and the abuse of the divine feminine has now created a situation because nature's all about balance. So the suppression of feminine, all of that. It's a lot.
Right.
It has caused men to now become the woman,
Mm.
So now we're seeing men, like masculinity itself has become devoured. Testosterone is dropping at alarming rates. Men used to, over 100 years ago, men were producing 2,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. You know how much y'all produce today? You know what's acceptable numbers?
What's that? What is the acceptable numbers that they're talking about? Please, right? Please.
Between 300 and 500.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So you talk, and in the 70s, y'all were producing, between 700 and 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So man is rapidly becoming women. So when we look on our TV screens and we see there's more feminine,
Men know that.
men that are fighting for their rights to be called a woman.
It's crazy.
We understand what is happening at large on a physiological level, to the man. And definitely that's layer 2. It's like 10.
So why call it a curse and not an agenda?
Well, I think
because before Europeans' introduction, that's when we had more. But until European and all the rest of the people that hates us, that's not us. That agenda really with the food, the air, the water, the everything is all culminating around this too.
Yeah.
So it has to be an agenda, not just a curse.
It's all of that, brother. I wouldn't say it's not also an agenda. I think having such docile men on the planet, because let's be honest, masculinity, having that testosterone, it makes men sometimes uncontrollable. They get this power to think on themselves. They fight back. They're fearless. They're not even afraid to die. But when you have a man that would cower and, even hide behind their women, or even fight with their women, just the way that men do today, it's a whole nother thing. So there is an aspect where it's beneficial for men to be this weekend, and then at the same time, I say curse because even that happening, like, is still, like, we talk about the spiritual aspects, and then we talk about the how it's being played out.
Right.
On a higher level, like, man actually has to get right with women. Sometimes men will come to me and we'll do a personal consultation together where I'm really getting to understand them and understand their situation when it comes to sexual reproductive health. And I do have to revisit at times the relationships. Like, well, why is your heart blocked?
Right.
How is your relationship, for one, with your mother? How is your relationship with women? Have you abused? Were you that good-looking guy back in the day that got a long tail of angry women? Sometimes it deserved to be cut off. So when we talk about even a curse from that angle, like,
right. But it is layered, like you said. It is layered because it does go back. I mean, we could go back to buck breaking. We could go back to all of that, and some of it is still in the bloodline. Before, again, the Europeans and the Spaniards and all the madness that they did, the Greco-European, curse is such. I used to dread that word curse because my family used to always, how Caribbean families go, boy, I think we curse because of this, and we curse because of that. No, I wasn't claiming curse. I'm never going to claim a curse. Respect to you, I'm not claiming that curse either. However, and I understand where you're coming from, but that word curse is not even our word to even put that on us.
Right.
Okay. So it could be spiritual proclivities or whatever, or some type of loss. Some type of loss of imbalance because of the
spiritually blocked.
Yeah, and imbalances, because there is an imbalance that's been promoted to us from a caveman, from somebody who used to beat their women with the Don club. That's why you got to be careful of going into nightclubs. You're getting beaten down and being told to drink liquor, have sex, do it at least. And believe me, I was a club promoter. I know what it looked like. Nightclub, disco neck yourself technically
I can see you in that world.
Yeah, I was something else in the clubs. I was an MC. I was an MC and part owner.
In the clubs too, tearing up the dance floor all day.
And I emceed some of the biggest shows with Buju and Marshall Montano and different people. I got it's all in my book, girl. No promotion is bad promotion. Stop playing. I got it all in my book. I've got this. I do this. But but I respect what you said. If that's the word you choose, curse, cool. If that's what you choose,
I can dig it though. As metaphysicians, we are mindful with how we use the word. I definitely think a spiritual blockage has come upon men. From the dominant. Taking women out of spirituality, taking women out of, like, you try to even when we think about the Ankh and how the womb was removed from the Ankh and all these different things,
right.
You try to remove the woman and you become the woman. In Ifa we have a verse in Oseo Torah. It's a scripture where Oshun saves the world.
Yes.
And in this verse, like all the male Orisha, like God sent, a lot of male Orisha, and God sent Oshun, Olodumare, right? We call our God figure Olodumare. And so the men didn't think that they needed Oshun.
That's crazy.
And so they were busy building everything, giving infrastructure and all these things. But Oshun had played such a crucial role. And they said, oh, we don't really need the woman. Let her go sit up and, and relax. We got this.
Right.
And so they didn't realize that without including her, everything was falling apart.
Right.
And so they went to heaven to speak to Olodumare, like, earth is falling apart, it's destroyed. Right. And Olodumare is like, well, where's the woman? I sent the woman there too, and did she do what she was supposed to do? And they're like, oh no, we told her to go off. And it's like, well, can't help you, go find her. Because you need the woman. And so when I say curse, I'm also speaking from that understanding of not including the woman, not having the woman by your side, side by side. Because a lot of these men also, when we talk about erectile dysfunction, a lot of these brothers, when they're older, they didn't lock down a wife.
Right. That's right.
When you don't lock down a wife, when you don't have a partner that is consistent, that you're able to consistently engage with, then the blood flow starts to slow down, and then the prostate starts to swell.
Right.
So the importance of a woman, though, in terms of respecting her and realizing her importance, in your life in so many ways. Oshun came and she brought the water to the planet. Without her, everything would dry up. This planet is how much percent water? How much on a cellular level? How much water are we made of?
Right.
Brought the beauty, brought the art, made life worth living.
Right. That's right. Absolutely.
And
I know where you're coming from, and I totally agree with the imbalance. I just won't call it a curse. I think it's
that's fine. We don't have to call it a curse. We can just call it a spiritual imbalance.
I think it's so funny that you have Queen Afua wrote Sacred Woman back in the day, right? Okay. And then you had Dr. Valentine who wrote The Wounded Womb. True. And then Dr. Khaled told him to write The Persecuted Penis. And everything is being, especially melanated people, they've persecuted our genitals, our organs. And that's why, people like Barashango has his book, The Original Guardian Angel, The Black Woman. You know what I'm saying? So that was by Barashango. I still have the book here.
I'm not familiar with his work.
Reverend Barashango, let me show you the book so you can you might want to get it one day. I got it on my thing. Barashango is one of my teachers from back in the day. I know I have it here. Where did I put it at? He wrote the book. Here it is. I'm about to whip out his other African people and European holidays. He wrote this book, African Women, the Original Guardian Angels.
Oh,
it's a Musa Barashango. Good book because he gives some good bibliography and some good history. And then, of course, he wrote African People African people on the European holidays and mental genocide. So a lot of these European holidays helped to divide the male and the female too. Broke that
Right.
up. And
Right.
so he passed on, of course. My brother passed on years ago. But it's so important. And like Dr. Africa used to say in his book, where the ma'at has to be practiced, because when ma'at is not practiced, then you're only clapping with one hand and there's no sound. You know what I'm saying? There's no balance there. So I get what you're saying. That's why I mean, again, me it's just because of what they said to me when I was young about our family being cursed, and I didn't believe that at all, and I wasn't holding on. I couldn't hold on to that. I would never hold on to that, because big up to Abundance Child. What, she fell off? Where's she at? Oh, she fell off. She could appreciate the book on the guardian angels. Yes. She fell off. Where's my sister at? I don't know what happened, but our sister will be back, family. So far we have a good dialogue going on, you know, and I'm proud of her. So far we have a good dialogue. Remember, make sure you support the Herb Alkhemyst. Her website, of course, is right here. It's also pinned to the top of the chat. She has she has herbal medicines, and she's a wellness she has a wellness academy. And the sister also has practice and have been part of the West African traditions of the I think traditional West African traditions, and she's also a metaphysical minister in her own way, and also a South African Herb Academy. You know, she's gone through certified plant scientist through the South African Herb Academy. So big up to her journey. Waiting for her to come back, of course. Family, just want to remind everybody, I have the legendary, till she comes back. When she comes back, want to remind everybody that this Tuesday on Today's Consciousness, I have the legendary brother, my brother Wanique Shabazz will be with us this coming Tuesday on the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birthday. Wanique Shabazz will be on with us. And you know, he was the original MC for the first gathering of the gathering of the masters, when Dr. Khalid, Dr. Blair, Phil Valentine, everybody was there. And Dr. Blair, everybody was there. Dr. Africa, and most of the people have passed on. He was the original MC for that. So I got him coming on the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birthday. So I'm waiting for the sister to come back. As soon as she comes back, we'll bring her back on. She hasn't come back in yet. I don't see her backstage, so I'm waiting for her. Okay, coming back on now. I'm just waiting for her to click on, and then I'll know. Okay, I think she's coming on in the backstage. So remember, family, this coming Tuesday, we have our brother Wanique coming in. All right, waiting for her to turn on her camera. Wait for her to turn on her camera, then we can bring her back in. So maybe something died and all that kind of stuff. But do remember, family, do support Nicholas Brooklyn. Nicholas Brooklyn is a beautiful space in Brooklyn over there at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York. I will be hosting my 30th anniversary for 2 days on November 15th and November 16th at Nicholas Brooklyn. So make sure y'all come on out. One of the keynote speakers is my girl, Abundance Child. She's in the chat, and you know she's coming from the Drop Squad kitchen to drop it like it's hot. So big up to Abundance Child. She's in here, man. She's in here, and she's going to be with me. Alchemist, where's your camera? I need you to turn on your camera, my dear. Turn on your camera so I'll know that you're ready. Turn on your camera so I'll know that you're ready. Once I see your camera on, then I will bring you on, okay? Let me see. Also, let's shout out my brother Ashwa Kwesi. If you want to go on a trip with him, if you want to go on a trip with Baba Ashwa Kwesi, please call him at 214-371-0206. This is not any space trip. This is a historical trip. If you're looking for aliens and all that type of conversation because you want your emotions to feel good, Baba Kwesi is not doing that. He's dealing with from a historical, our people built this, our people built that, our people built that, not aliens. And no disrespect to you, because I know our family are aliens from the other universes like the Dogon taught, but Baba Kwesi is coming from history and a historical point of view. Where's Alchemist? Alchemist, where you at, girl? Where you at, Alchemist? You all right? Can you hear me? She's not in yet. She's probably trying to get a camera together. No, let me put that back on. So, all right. So, Baba Ashra Kwesi has a great trip. Just mention my name and he'll hook you up. That's what he had just mentioned my name. Remember my new book. I'm almost finished with this book, The Relationship, Numerovation and Relationship Chronicles and Workbook, based on my 2 bestsellers. Numbers are simple, people are complicated, and Numerovation for mental stability, because this is going to deal with the mental health of our family too. So I'm waiting for my sister to come back. I believe she's backstage. Hold on one second. One more thing I want to promote. All 5 of my books already on Amazon. Make sure you go to Linktr.ee/King Simon the Numerovator, or go to Amazon. Get all of my books. My children's book is right there on the bottom. Let We Tell the Story about musicology, Egyptology. We're the first to come up with all of that. So let's get it twisted. Let's bring on our sister right back on. She disappeared for a minute, but let's bring her back on. A well-deserved round of applause, my sister, the Herb Alkhemyst.
I apologize. I'm a Cancer, so I got Gemini in the 12th.
That's funny. That's a communication. Yes. I got it. Family, remember, go to our websites, all of our stuff. I got the applause keep on coming on. Let me stop that right there. Go to our websites. She got 2 websites, one for Herbal Medicine, one for the Wellness Academy, and also support her via Cash App. Spread love through her Cash App. Show her some love. You know how we do. Okay, we everything went left for a minute there.
Yeah, I'm like, where did we leave off? I think we were talking about male reproductive health.
Yeah, male reproductive and female reproductive.
And talking about the different ways that the condition itself can manifest. I think one of the last points I made was how, as a man gets older, like, it's really important to secure a wife, because I've had a lot of my customers that, would do all the other things. They would exercise, they would, eat right, but then they didn't have that part of that woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can do things yourself, but that sometimes it's not always the most sufficient way. And you said you don't always do that. So you just get busy and you're just working. And it's important for a man as he gets older to maintain a healthy sexual relationship, because when a man does not release semen, he does not release PSA. PSA is prostate-specific antigen, right?
Right.
A few times you may find this just out of control is with 3 different cancers. For one, prostate cancer. You find elevated levels of PSA with prostate cancer. You also find elevated levels of PSA with breast cancer, which women, we release PSA when we breastfeed. Very interesting, right? And then also with ovarian cancer, you'll find elevated levels of PSA, and which I find interesting, because a woman also releases PSA is through ejaculating also, herself. But yeah, so I find that to be an issue with men also, is that you're not actually using it, and what you don't use, you lose. You experience shrinkage.
Exactly.
And that's because of the lack of blood flow. Like when you don't use, you don't work out, you ain't going to the gym, you start, your arms are getting small, everything, it's just not having as much blood flow. So that's definitely a big thing. But and also we have to talk about this. I mentioned men are sweet, and I didn't go into it enough. And I was really alluding to the fact that men are consuming well over the recommended amount of sugar on a daily basis. Sugar kills testosterone.
Right.
And testosterone is going to attack your libido. So it's like you're not even going to want it. So you don't want it. Then after a while, then you're not going to get that blood flow. And now at first you didn't want it. Now you can't get it, because now it's not actually, and so with sugar killing that testosterone and killing that drive,
right.
It really heavily impacts the male's ability to perform overall.
Right.
Men start getting soft. I like to relate like even the penis and the hardness of the penis to that masculinity. Like overall, like men don't only get soft in their penis, men are getting soft in their breasts.
Right.
Soft in their bellies.
Yep.
The vagina is soft. You know what I'm saying? So like y'all are being turned into a woman in so many different areas, when it comes to the male body. But yeah, just the sugar issue, like you're supposed to have between what is it? I want to say 5 and 6 grams of sugar on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Men are having 19 grams of sugar, 17 and 19 grams of sugar. So that's killing testosterone. You're getting sugar from how many areas? Caribbean men, y'all eat a lot of spicy food. Mm-hmm. On a regular day, the average American man, he's not incorporating enough spicy food to keep his blood circulation up. Yep. He's eating a lot of sugar from the carbs, the French fries, the potatoes, the breads, the pastas, all these different things, all convert into sugar in your system. And then on top of that, men want to drink alcohol, which is also grain, which converts into sugar. Men wonder why when they're engaging with a woman and they drink too much, you can't get it up.
It's crazy.
All that sugar just killed your erection.
It brought me to the club life, what you just said, because I went through the discipline of Islam. By the time I went back to the club, I didn't do drink, so I was always water based, water. So every bar, every club in New York knew me for water or cranberry juice or orange juice. That's what they knew me for. However, when Frankie Paul, the reggae artist, was passing on or was on the verge of transit, they called me to get him in contact with Dr. Sebi, but it was just too late, because when you're in that club life, you're drinking and you're staying out at night and late and you're eating just the regular Caribbean-based food can kill you because of so much starch, rice and peas, and you want to eat this and that. And I'm like, really? And then you're drinking at that, and then you're partying and you're drinking, and that's converted to sugar. So I see where you're coming from.
So then you wonder why the men are stressed out and lazy.
Exactly.
Because the sugar is increasing the cortisol in your body. Right. And so the sugar is also eating at your brain. One of the key features of testosterone is this ability to help a man to think critically. So when we say things like a man may be smarter than a woman, like women, we can't get offended. It's not to say that women aren't smart. Okay. What we're really trying to say is that women to produce enough testosterone to even have to think critically out of the situations that men have to think us out of. Right now we have a problem and a shortage of critical thinkers on the planet. And, we have AI now, but that's going to make the situation even worse, because we attack the man's testosterone with the food, with introducing, and then the sedentary lifestyle, because the industrial area, now y'all don't got to do such manual labor anymore. Right. The machines do it, but now y'all at least were able to think critically. Yeah. The white collar workers, they were the thinkers. Right. But now you have AI, and so now the critical thinkers are now being, when you talk about testosterone being under attack, that's why I would say, like, is this a curse? Like, men are actually on the verge of extinction, So, as a priestess, I see, what's going on from that angle also. But yeah, so overall, when we talked a lot about like certain problems, and I want to just give a few solutions.
Yeah. Let's knock it out and close it out with some solutions, because I know you got children, you got things you got to do. Where you live now? You live on the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. You out here in Georgia with us? You out here in Georgia?
I'm in Florida right now, actually.
Okay, Florida. You got there in the heat. I like the heat. That's what I'm talking about. Give me that heat.
Absolutely. I love it here. I love Georgia.
I love it. My father lives in Tampa. And I love
okay.
Yeah, my father, my cousin from Cuba my cousins from Cuba live in Orlando, so they out there doing their thing, and
Awesome.
okay, so give us some solutions. I'm gonna let you close out with that before we go. But remember, family, support her websites. It's all pinned to the top of the chat, and make sure you support her academy, her Cash App. Show her some love. Get a consultation with her. She does so. And so she's an astrologer also, so she does a lot of things. Her and her sister be going in. Big up to Kateria Knowles, and be going in. That's I had on my shelf. I'm definitely gonna bring them back. Both of them. I want to bring both of y'all back together. Really, I want to that fire. I want to see the water and fire. I mean, the air sign and the water sign.
No, she's fiery for sure. She has like 4 Aries placements in the first house.
She gangsta. I love it. All right, give us some solutions.
Yeah, solutions. So, brothers, y'all gotta live. I didn't even speak enough about the female erectile disrupt function, but brothers have to create a lifestyle. Like you have to, it has to be an actual concentration on it. You can't just live the standard American lifestyle and expect for your masculine energy to be intact, because it's attacked from every angle right now. And you gotta, in a sense, be a warrior for your testosterone. Okay, so that's first and foremost with the food. You know, cutting down. The only animals that we eat are female animals when it comes to, you know, the cows and the hens. You know, nobody want rooster meat. Roosters aren't thick. So everybody's eating the hens, right? And they're getting all the hen.
You see what you just said? Back in the day in Jamaica, they had a thing called cow cod. And cow cod is the bull penis. This is what they used to serve us, or try to serve bull penis.
Did some good.
Cow cod soup, bull penis soup, and there's just too much going on. Too much.
I didn't mean to. I'm just saying though, like nobody's eating roosters, nobody's eating bulls. Bulls are out there fighting. Okay. You know, you seen a rooster's leg? A rooster's leg is so thin, like nobody can tear the meat off of that bone. Yeah. And so you're getting all of these female hormones, though, is my point. Right. And so just being cognizant and mindful that, you know, it's not added female hormones to your food. Right. You know, be mindful of the amount of soy that you're consuming, the amount of flax that you're consuming, the amount of sugar that you're consuming. We didn't even talk about the fact, we said the brothers drinking and eating grains. And we didn't talk about they eat candy bars and cookies and candies and all this other stuff and Coca-Cola and everything else. Like cut back on your sugar intake, cut it in half. Please. That's extremely important, you know, and get moving, you know, like I said, back in the day, y'all didn't have to physically say, I'm going to go to the gym to make sure I'm lifting weights. Y'all was cutting down trees and building houses and all sorts of things as to why you had 2,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. You don't got that today. You want that. I say, men, you want to at least have 700 to 1,000. Like get yourself tested, check your levels, see where you're at. You know,
Herb Alkhemyst, I'm still climbing trees. I don't go to any gyms. I work out on trees. I still pull up on trees and do that type of. I just have to do that. That comes because of
wind your waist too.
I wind my waist. I do smoke. I wind. I do reggae. I do winding. Oh boy.
Calypso. We was like. See, they think twerking and all them movements is for nothing. No, they for something. Get up and dance. You know, if you're not the gym rat, get up and dance. Move your body. That's the easiest way to get your blood flowing and get your heart working healthier is to move. Stop sitting down all day. Yes. You know, drink your water. You know, get your wife. Yes, okay, right. So your hand is not your best friend, damaging your penis, making it hard to keep an erection. Right. Causing your prostate to swell and all of this nonsense.
After doing I go and work out I do my squats. I do after all my interviews or anything I do squats, I do leg raises, I do kicks, I do my martial arts kick, back, front, side, all kinds of stuff, just to keep 10 legs each, 10 legs this way, 10, just to keep, I used to do 100 each way. So back in the day, or 500 back in the day. So we used to have to do a whole lot, but I still do it to keep it going. At 58 years of age, I'm about to be 60.
Hey, let's clap for that.
Oh man, we do what we gotta do. But touch on
but just making sure also that you're addressing your heart.
Yes.
If your penis ain't working, that's just a symptom that your heart isn't working.
Yes.
So make sure you're eating those foods that are boosting your heart health. Drink some beetroot, get some garlic in the system. Just eat your greens, eat your big salad on a regular basis. Get your nitric oxide boosting foods in your body, because that's going to open up your blood vessels so that your blood can flow a lot better. But also address your heart in terms of, have you hurt somebody, or has somebody hurt you? Are you still holding that inside? Like, process that. Do you need to write a letter to somebody? Sometimes people have passed on into the other rooms. Do you need to write a letter to her? I apologize for the things that I put you through.
I've done that.
How are you going to alchemize that blockage in your heart area that's not allowing blood to flow throughout not only to your penis, but to your whole body? Brother, stop smoking so much. Smoking damages your blood vessels. It tears your blood vessels up. It makes them hard, and it makes it more difficult for blood to travel through your body. Especially, you're also dehydrating yourself. So if you do smoke, reduce it. Try and cut it down by half. Even weed, because guess what? Weed has a lot of estrogen in it. That's a whole other conversation.
I know.
The dog Mary's necessary, especially in these days and times now. At the same time, don't abuse Mary. Okay?
Exactly. You talk about writing, which is interesting. I still send cards and write letters.
That's good.
It's important to still write. I still write script. I still write cursive. I still write in cursive. And because my grandmother used to have these pack of cards, and that's how I learned about focusing on birthdays and all that kind of stuff. These cards I still get, and I write, and I'll send it to birthdays and send it to people for friends. Or if
I love a good card. Good cards. When you run into an old card, and they put a heartfelt message in it.
Or making the cards, because we go into AI to make cards. We got to balance it out. I don't mind people using AI, which might be taking away some of our critical thinking, but balance it out and create your own before you even go to AI. Create what's going on.
Heart-to-heart connection every time.
But we might have to do a part 2 about women next, because we went in more. We should do that.
Plug really quick. This is my
Because isn't that on your website? Is it on your website?
Yeah, this is King Power. It's my number 1 product. I've helped so many men to overcome erectile dysfunction naturally with King Power health page.
Here it is. Here's the website. Yes. Hold on. Let me throw it at the front here. Let me throw it up in the front. Yeah, here's the website, family. There it is, man. And you got it all. You got the products on here. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Look at it. Come on now. Which one you talking about? King Power or Autism Reversal? What?
I know. I'm like, my page right now is so autism based. We're gonna have to talk about that one day.
Because I just sent some information to a friend of mine whose child is suffering from what they call autism. So
autistic children, we have testimonials for improving their cognitive functions. But the King Power is right there. We sell it in a 2-pack. We sell it as a single, 5 bottles, and then also a year supply of a 20-pack. I highly recommend for brothers who are dealing with erectile dysfunction to go on ahead and get the bundle of 5 bottles usually, because you're able to really experience the product. You won't have any breaks in between with shipping or anything. And you're able to see what it can truly do for you. That'll last you about 3 to 5 months.
Wow.
The 5-pack of King Power,
But and the autism, you got the King Potent Sexual Kit.
Yeah, the King's Potent Sexual Health Kit. We have another product for erectile dysfunction. That's our Potent Phallus capsules.
Okay.
And so those also help tremendously to boost the testosterone, to remove the excess mucus, blocking up the dorsal artery, and to just improve testosterone production and increase energy. And so we pair it with the king power. They go well together, just as an overall flush of the reproductive system, and, just to help to improve the testosterone, the libido, even the inches. Brothers say that with our products, they see a lot more size. And I can really say that's just because you're getting a lot more blood flow, and you're finally seeing your full potential. It's like always blowing a balloon up to halfway. But when you have the balloon, like you're blowing it up, have you seen the balloon? You blow it up to the max, it's about to pop.
I mean, I study Montauk Chia and all these guys, and I learned to do exercises, all kinds of.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I have to keep the prostate tight at my age. I started doing more of this at a younger age. You have to drink a lot of water to make sure I got cayenne pepper in all my food, or sometimes turmeric, things to keep the flow going. You got to keep it flowing.
Absolutely. Keep your lymphatic system clear, it works with your circulatory system. But again, like if you've been dealing with erectile dysfunction, I highly recommend to book a consultation with me. That way I can build you out a wellness plan.
Okay.
For about an hour, and then I create a wellness plan. It's probably about 30 to 50 pages long. And then I coach you and check on you to make sure you're implementing, because, it's a whole lifestyle change. I actually wrote an e-guide called Stiff Again, and it just helps me to understand why they've been going through this experience. You laughing? I'm serious. I'm not playing.
That sounds like a whole reggae song. Stiff again, stiff again, stiff again. It's tough again.
You have to make me make a song.
I can do it. I was number 5 on the reggae chart back in the 90s. So believe me, I can write a song about stiff again. Lot of mercy.
No, that is definitely a song. But yeah, I wrote I put Stiff Again together, and it just gives you the whole, dietary exercises and all of those different things. But when you do a consultation with me, I'm able to customize things for you on a more personal level. So definitely contact me, follow my IG. I do answer my inbox. If you have a quick question, I may shoot over a quick answer. I do free consultations as well. If you call the number on the website throughout the week, I do mini consultations, so I can see where, best, to guide you if you need a course or just a consultation, or et cetera, et cetera.
Makes sense, my sister. Once again, sister, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Let me give you we had a lot of fun.
It was great. I haven't done an interview in a while.
Get out of here. I'm loving it. I'm glad that you haven't done it, but we're going to have to do at least an IG one. At least have some fun on IG.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah, I did broadcast this on IG, but it won't be up for too long. I keep it right here on YouTube. I'm going to clip it up a little. Put some nice little clips, and have some fun and all that kind of stuff. But again, this is a website, family. She got 2 websites that I've been showing throughout the whole show. Let me make sure that y'all got it. Remember, it's pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you show love to my sister. Her and her husband and the 5 children are doing great work. So they all working together. This is a family. It's a family affair. So you got to make sure. And she homeschools.
Well, when you have all this good loving, children are a symptom of good loving.
Exactly. My sister, go ahead and handle your business. It's now 22 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for coming on. And
likewise, brother.
All right.
Appreciate you. Take care.
You, sister. Peace and love. Yes. Oh man, my sister, man. She gave us some good work, man. She gave us some good information. Let me give her another well-deserved round of applause, man, for coming in. Support her websites. It's pinned to the top for the Herbal Medicine and also for the Wellness Academy. If you want to learn this stuff officially, make sure you support and spread love via Cash App, of course. And everything is pinned to the top, showing her so much love. Her sister is Kateria Knowles, the astrologer, the author, the sister. I brought her on before, and both of them made their debut on my channel. But I'm gonna bring both of them together. I want to have 2 sisters in the building. That's you keep that energy popping. You want to make sure the women are all right. And one thing about me, family, y'all don't know, those who know that I love to produce events with women, Back in the day, Abundance is on here. She knows I've brought sisters panels. I've done, Women's History Month tribute to Frances Cress Wells. And I'm not afraid to bring the women out and let them talk because they got something to say. They got something to say, and you got to support what they're saying because we are in the number 2 cycles. We are in the 2000s. And because we are in the 2000s, remember this curve on top represents the feminine and the bottom is the straight line represents the masculine. So it's telling that the male energy has to support the curving energy on top in the 2000s that we're in. We're going into 2026 now. We're in 2025. But that 2000 is the lead number. That's the 2 and the 0 are the lead number. So the feminine energy is growing and shining. And look how the number 2 looks like a hook. They're hooking into who they are and what they are and hooking back into their universal understanding of themselves. But men have to support it. The masculine, the divine masculine has to support it. It has to be the foundation to help push because they're not going nowhere without us unless y'all allow yourself to separate from that hook. If you allow yourself to separate from the hook, then you might be left in the dark. But if you bring that hook together and let it connect with the masculine energy, which is the bottom energy, we can all ride together in this 2000 cycle before we go into the 3000s. All right, let's do this together. All right, so family, on that note, I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh and talk some knowledge. The kind of knowledge you will never find in college. But it's time for you to all use it. Use it. Use it. She had a lot to offer. Many of the sisters that I bring up here have a lot to offer. Many of the brothers have a lot to offer. It is time to recognize who is the African woman, the original guardian angel, like Barashango taught us, the great Dr. Barashango, my brother. He got some great books out there, so make sure you support him too. He got some great books like The African People and the European Holidays and Mental Genocide by Dr. Barashango also. So it's important. It's important that we bring our sisters, especially in this 2000 cycle. And remember the number 20 that's leading the 2001, 2000, all the way to 2025, 26. That is a feminine extreme energy because 0 adds extremity to whatever it follows. So, and the 0 itself is a feminine energy. It's a womb. It's a vortex that brings forth the masculine and the feminine. So let's come together. Let's be respectful of our energy. Let's not trigger each other, men and women, because men has gone through it, sisters, just like you have gone through it. Men have gone through some formative years of trauma, just like I've gone through and everybody else has gone, and you have gone through some formative years of trauma. Let's find a balance that we don't trauma bond, but learn to relieve and remove the traumas as much as we possibly can. We might not fully heal in this realm right now, but at least we could all learn to manage our weaknesses and strengthen our strength to become one with each other again. Remember what Dr. B says, and make sure you go to his website, elevationtime.com. I knew he taught a class yesterday or today. He taught a class yesterday. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I'm thankful for my life. Believe me, I'm thankful for my life many times, over and over again. Every time I get up, because I know I'm supposed to transition in my sleep, I know this for real, for real. I am grateful that I wake up out of my sleep to keep on with this mission every day, and I want you to be grateful because remember what Bob Marley said. Remember what Bob Marley said, and I've been showing this lately for the last week and a half. The people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking the day off. Why should I? So when people say I do 1,000 videos, I'm doing a video almost every day or whatever, because it's work that all of us that are here to be solution oriented must do. So if you don't get to put up a whole video, put up a clip, teach something, say something positive to keep the positive vibration, be a solution. Like Bob Marley taught about being a solution, putting out that mystic vibration of positivity. So like Dr. Blair would say, please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Make sure you support his website, his legacy. Brother Tony is doing a great job in Chicago at the metacenter2.com. The metacenter2.com. I mean, they got aeroponics. They got the diodes. They got his books that they transcribed and turned them into books. They got growing from home, growing, holistic growing. They got all kinds of new stuff, growing with magnets, growing with pyramids, growing with diodes, all that on his site now. Dr. Blair didn't have all of that, but they're keeping the legacy of Dr. Blair on that site, the metacenter2.com, the number 2, the metacenter2.com. Dr. B's site is elevationtime.com. Make sure we support our brothers and sisters that understand the dynamics of balancing the masculine and the feminine. The CEO of Dr. Blair's business, I mean, Dr. B's business is a woman. He knows, he understands. And the CEO of Dr. Blair is also feminine energy. Because remember, Dr. Blair was the one that taught about woman. He go look on his YouTube channel when he taught, go look on that YouTube channel when he taught on the woman and why the brains and the bone density is so thick. Dr. Blair taught that 30, 40 years ago. Dr. Blair taught that. So I understand what the sister was saying about men's loss of respect for women, but I don't call it a curse. I call it an imbalance right now. And now everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn on this realm. Men had their turn to do it, and now it's the women's turn. We're going to see what the women can do, but we got to support them, like I said about this 2 energy. We got to support them. All right? All right, family. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe. Be great. Remember, I love you because guess what? I love me. That's why. You know what I'm saying? And please like, subscribe, and share, and please support, donate to the channel. You could either use Venmo, PayPal, .me/the Numerovator, or PayPal.me/King Simon, or Cash App $ inspired by team. Support. Also join me on my new channel called the Numerovation News and Views. I'm gonna start putting up clips of different news report connected to numerology. Just like I'm about to do this clip right now. P. Diddy getting those 4 years. Getting those 4 years, not 44 years, 4 years. He's born on November 4th, and it's happening right now in his critical cycle. It's happening right now in his critical cycle. Right now before his birthday, his critical 52-day critical cycle. Puff P. Diddy just got sentenced to 4 years. He's born November 4th. He's in his critical cycle, and he's in his 6th personal year, and 6 is one of his challenge numbers. So he's in a crossroad of his life. So I'm gonna break it down briefly in a 5-minute clip and throw some pictures of P. Diddy and a little this and a little that. That's what the news channel is all about: Numerovation News and Views. So look out for that. That's going to be coming out. I'm studying other channels right now to get the gist of how to do it with my voice in a news cadence. I want a news cadence type voice. So I'm training my voice to make it sound more like Walter Cronkite. This is Walter Cronkite, and this is today's news. I might do that. I'm just joking. You know what I'm saying? All right. So family, have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Peace and love from the Numerovational Magi. Take care of yourself. And you have been watching Herb Alkhemyst right here, the alchemy of sexual health. Take care, be great, and be safe. Peace and love.